I think of home as a place that I carry within me. Because as an immigrant, you no longer belong in the place you've left, and you don't quite belong in the place you've gone to. But home is each other. The connection that we make with this scattering of seeds, this family that we've forgotten about, is a spiritual one. That's what the arts do. They address things of the spirit. And you cannot put a price on the things of the spirit. I don't mean religion. I mean the things of the soul. And what connects that diaspora, that family together, is a spirit. And what connects them to us is a spirit. And what connects artists to each other is a spirit. And I think that part of the healing that we have to go through, if I can use that word, is that we must look to the spiritual sides of ourselves to begin healing this problem that's not just economic. And that can be done by, I believe, artists. Artists who provide vision, provide leadership. There seems to me to be a space now at the moment. Historically, I think that space is recognizable. There's a crisis, there's a detachment, and then there's a vacuum between. And that's where a leader can emerge. Maybe it's not one leader, but maybe it's the artists with the help of business who will emerge as the real leaders of the future. Yes, in 1880, what Yeats created, and Yeats and his contemporaries created, was essentially not just an artistic movement, but it's debatable that it didn't change the political, social, and economic structure of the 20th century. That's debatable. I may not be absolutely right, but there's a good case to be made for it. Even Yeats in his old age was wondering if his words had sent young men out to die. That the power of his art was so powerful, was so strong, that people could go out to die because of it. So art isn't something that exists over there, some elite thing that is in the corner there. The reason it became art, or our culture, our story, is because when people went away, they sang about home. They sang about the things that meant something to them. It was the expression of their soul and the expression of their spirit. That's what Irish culture is. It's the expression of our spirit. And as that, it is extremely, extremely precious. The other thing I'd say that we have the memory to tell the narrative of our past, to remember the famine, to remember the struggles that went before that, to know that we are survivors, that we have survived as a people, and we have survived to a great extent through the people who went away. They have continued that family into all 70 million of them. That's what Gateway Ireland will do. It will connect that family who remember the story together. And that gives you such a tremendous sense of self-esteem when you know your story and you know it's shared with the people around you. The other thing that you cannot put a price on, and this is the beginning of every idea in this room and beyond, is imagination. When we were sitting by firesides and we were oppressed, the one thing that they could never oppress was imagination. Because we imagined worlds before those times, and we also are now in a place where we are being asked to imagine a world beyond this. And if we can remember and imagine, we are who we were, and we will be what we imagine. And imagine is one of the strongest words in the English language. It is a call to arms. It says, imagine something. And if you imagine something, you're a good portion of the way towards being there. I had the misfortune once to play Columbus in not a great adaptation of his life, but Columbus was obsessed by horizons. And when he was in his ship, he would say to the guys, no, we're not going to fall off the edge. We're not going to get eaten by sea monsters. Keep going. And he forced them over the horizon to confront another horizon and another horizon, because it wasn't just a line between sea and sky. It eventually became land. But my favorite definition of Columbus is one that an Irish guy told me when we were making the film in Malta. He said, Christopher Columbus, he said, he started off and he didn't know where he was going. When he got there, he didn't know where he was. And when he came back, he didn't know where he'd been. I love to think of that. But horizon and Christopher Columbus, imagination and memory, and I think if we take anything out of this room, it is that we also have not just a duty to the future to preserve the spirit of who we are, but to remember the people who've gone before us. Thanks.